Welcome back. This is Reality, and this is another ladder game. This time I am playing against the CakeIsALie, and this will be another ZVZ. In my last posting, I talked about some of the problems that I was facing in my Zerg vs Zerg matchup, and this included things like scouting with a drone, using the overlords effectively. I also tried to super fast expand for spawning pool, and that didn't work out. So this time I'm going to try and address some of those issues that I had, and we're just going to speed it up for a second here while we're getting done with all the boring stuff at the beginning. Now I am going to go ahead and do the extractor trick, get my second overlord and send him off to the right to scout. I do see he's not on the left, and I'm a little slow on correcting my overlord there to go scout the next position. But I've already eliminated one location for him to be at, so I'm not too scared of fast air attack or some kind of a wall in and then high tech like to air. I am going to go ahead and get my extractor spawning pool instead of the fast hatch like last time. Again, that's a lot of minerals to invest right away, and I just wasn't able to afford it and hold off the enemy at the same time. So I'm going to go ahead and send out this scouting drone. You can see I'm setting the rally points now. I don't need to scout the left, but I do need to move that overlord, so doing that. And I am going to see in a second here that he's not on the right hand side, so I do know where he is at this point in time. I'm going to go ahead and scout that with the drone here, move the overlords into position to be on either side of him. So now that my spawning pool is done, and there you can see I'm just moving the overlords now. There's his drone scout, so he's actually got a peg on my base before I've even located his. But now that the spawning pool is done, I'm going to go ahead and make that queen and a couple of zerglings. Here you can see I'm making 4. And I do have another overlord on the way, so I don't get supply blocked. And here I can see he's taking his second gas and making a roach warren. So the first thing I want to do following that is just make sure that he doesn't somehow have his hatch up, because I know that I'm at around 300 minerals, so it'd be possible for him to have his up. But I can see here that he does not. So I know that he's trying to do a one base play at this point. With that second gas in the roach warren, I know it's not false, or that he's going to cancel it after letting me scout it. So I am building my own roach warren, and very shortly here I'll be getting my second gas. And what I want to do is, I know I'm behind in tech, so I want to do a little bit of damage here to put him off guard, try and get it so that I can catch up to him. And I want to build a spine crawler here and attack with the zerglings. Now I realized too late that I'm fighting his queen, and then he just obliterates my zerglings with his and blocks that spine crawler. But it did give me enough time to get my roach warren up, so I'm not too dissatisfied with that choice. It could have gone better though, or possibly even a little earlier. So there goes my second gas. It's about halfway done, and I figure he's probably got 4 or 5 roaches at this point. And here you can see he's got 4, and very shortly he'll have a 5th on the way. And I only have 1 roach out with 2 more on the way. So I'm going to be taking a defensive stance here initially. As I said before, I am behind in tech, so I need to let him make the first strike and see if I can hold him off. Now here I do have this overlord overwatching the cliff, so I do see him coming in. And I do like to get this second queen earlier, because then when I do expand, I can just send her right over, also get my creep spread going. And there you can see on the minimap more units coming in. I know, gotta get ready for this attack, maybe try and block the ramp, or at the same time he's also coming in, so I need to back up. And these Zerglings that he has are actually the ones that he kept from my initial attack, so you can see the value of keeping units alive. I do get a second round of roaches out here, and I'm able to fend them off. And I do like to share these games from my perspective because it gives you a little more insight into what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, how fast I'm able to do it. A lot of people do this overhead, watching both players kind of cast, but hopefully the mistakes I make from my first person view are things that you can avoid in the future because of seeing it in this way. Now I do want to attack while I expand. He does have Overlord so he can see what I'm doing, but a good strategy should be one that works whether your opponent can see it or not. And right now I'm just trying to draw him out, get that better surround. He's not falling for it so far though. And as you can see, the only thing I'm producing right now is my second hatchery, so I'm not making drones. I'm up around 400 minerals. And that attack is not going to work. So I'm changing my rally point, hoping that I can finish up this hatchery before he comes back to me. Now as I hit that watchtower in the center, as you can see on the mini-map, he's actually following very closely behind me, and I can tell he's got a lot of units. So that doesn't feel good to me. Now what I'm hoping for is to get this Hydralisk den, as you can see in the production tab, and then follow up my roach wall with some hydras. I am finally getting the roach speed, but he's ahead of me in that as well. And you can actually see here, he's got a spire on the way, which is going to spell disaster for me pretty much. I'm trying to micro here, get these units to somehow defeat the larger numbers, but I just don't have the control to make that happen. At this point I figure I've just got to sacrifice this expansion hatch. There's no way I can keep it alive and win the combat between his roaches and mine. So I get that next round out. Gonna bring the queen back, bring the roaches in. Hopefully I can hold this all off and possibly get a hatch back up. I know that we're equal in tech at this point, or that's what I think anyway. I'm trying to get transfuses down on these roaches, but they die a little too fast. Keep the roaches alive.
Metamorphosis complete.
I'm producing more roaches because I can see he's got a larger roach army than me, and I think that that's what he's going to continue to produce. And right there, I can see him running away. Now this, I should have had one of these overlords up here hotkeyed, because if I had known that, I would not build that hatchery and bring all these roaches down. Because right here comes the Mutalisks. Now unfortunately, all I've got to combat that is a bunch of roaches. In fact, 15 to be exact. And here you can see he's got 10 roaches, I've got 15, so I was finally feeling confident being ahead of him in the ground army. However, unfortunately, he did enough damage in that most recent attack to be able to get a Spire and 9 Mutalisks. Now I was building this Hydralisk den just as a follow-up to make a good Roach Hydra army. It probably would have been a good idea to do that earlier instead of building this hatchery again, because as you can see I've got 500 minerals. Now he's still got more than me, but I have the gas to potentially produce a lot of Hydralisks off of one base. And I guess my biggest frustration with Zerg vs. Zerg right now is the inability to safely expand ever, unless you get a giant tech upgrade over your enemy. So next time, what I'm probably going to want to do is have one of these overlords hotkeyed up front, maybe a couple of them, so that when I see things go by on the mini-map, I can actually look there quickly and see, oh, those aren't speedlings. They're Mutalisks. And possibly work on getting this Hydralisk den up faster and maybe sort out some better way to get that initial attack a little quicker or more effective, because all I ended up doing was losing 4 Zerglings and a drone, and when he made his second attack, that actually made it stronger, and I wasn't able to hold it off, which put me behind even further, and pretty much led to this point. So putting down that early hatch was a mistake as well. I think I should have just teched up, since I didn't have a scout out ahead of that. If I'd have saved 1 Zergling from that initial attack and sent it back in ahead of my roaches, I might have been able to see that maybe jumping up to Lair Tech and then the Hydra down a little faster would have been a better choice. So thanks for watching.